Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Sports Bash pre-show presented by Unique Golf, located at 356 Union Boulevard in West Islip. For the last 15 years, they have been voted the best golf store on Long Island with 30 years of trusted service. Unique Golf prides themselves on getting the best quality clubs in the hands of every player at a price that fits the player's budget. Give them a call at 631-422-6431. Hi again, everyone. I'm Peter Schwartz. Vinny Tickets has the day off. WizKid Vinny is with me today. Coming up on the show, we're going to be joined by longtime New York area sports writer and columnist Ian O'Connor, who has a new book out called Out of the Darkness, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers. We'll talk to him about that book, about what kind of person Aaron Rodgers really is. So many things said about him, but Ian O'Connor with a great book about Aaron Rodgers. We'll talk to him about that. It's also Free Ticket Friday. We'll check out the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day, and we'll also have this day in sports history. It is time for the Sports Bash Flash. It is brought to you by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. The Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Mention Sports Bash. Don't forget, mention Sports Bash and get a free dessert with your meal. Let's start at Citi Field. The Mets building a 5-0 lead on the A's, and then
the 1-0 on the way. Swing and a bouncer towards first, into right field, a base hit, and the A's take the lead. Langoliers scores. Geloff stops at second, and on at first with an RBI single is Seth Brown. The A's have taken a 7-6 lead here in the sixth inning.
That was Howie Rose on WCBS 880. The Mets fall to the A's 7-6. Mark Vientos did have 2 home runs for the Mets in a losing cause. Not a good way for the Mets to wrap up that series, Wiz.
No, not at all. But give shout out to the Oakland Athletics, because this will be the final time that they
Aren't you a Mets fan?
Well, I gotta give props to them because they're.
Why would you give props to the Oakland A's if you're a Mets fan? You just got embarrassed by the Oakland A's.
It is embarrassing, but I'm happy for the fans.
I felt terrible the Yankees losing 1 game to the White Sox earlier this week, and you want to praise the Oakland A's for coming into your house and beating your team twice?
Oh yeah, it's embarrassing that they lost them.
So why are you giving them props?
It's called sportsmanship.
No sportsmanship when you're a fan of a team.
Well,
in Little League, you have sportsmanship. In high school football, after the game, you shake hands and everything like that. You just got your butts kicked by one of the worst teams in baseball.
Oh, it's embarrassing. It absolutely is embarrassing. But I got to give props where it's due, because you're not going to be in Oakland.
That's not your problem. Your problem is getting into the playoffs. You need and every win counts, and you're giving praise to a team that just went into your stadium and beat you twice.
That's because the Mets need to understand that these.
So you're too nice of a person. Like I could never do that. By the way, not only was it embarrassing for the Mets to lose 2 out of 3, what they did yesterday also with their ceremonial first pitch was one of the most disgusting things that I've ever seen. Now, no disrespect to the girl who did it, and she is taking full advantage of the notoriety she has received on social media for that video. But for the Mets to have this individual throw out the first pitch at all is disgusting. Second of which, how tone deaf are the Mets that you have this girl with what she said and did on that video to become a viral sensation, that you have her do it on a day when you've got thousands of kids there on a camp day. I mean, it's a weekday afternoon game loaded with kids. Now, if you're a parent with a kid at the game, or you're a camp counselor with those kids at the game, now you have to explain to these people, to these kids, why this girl is an internet sensation. I'm not mentioning her name. I don't want to give her any more of her 15 minutes than she already has. And I'm not angry at her, because, listen, if you have an opportunity to seize the moment and make some money out of it, that's not the problem. The problem I have is, why did the Mets do this? And that's the thing that bothers me the most. You could have picked any of those campers out of the stadium and have them throw out the first pitch. You have any number of Mets legends that show up at games, have them throw out the first pitch. And she's the person who the Mets picked to throw out a first pitch. Steve Cohen and Alex Cohen should be embarrassed. And whoever came up with that idea needs to be spoken to about it. I never want to see anybody lose their job. I don't think it's worth anybody losing their job. But somebody's got to be spoken to about it. It's just tone deaf. Absolute unnecessary, tone deaf decision by the Mets yesterday. As for the Yankees, they did nothing controversial yesterday. They were off. They didn't even play. And they opened up a series with the Tigers tonight in Detroit. The 2024-25 NBA season will tip off October 22nd. Speaking of pleasant things, the Knicks will take on the Celtics in Boston. Knicks home opener will be October 25th against the Pacers. The Nets open up in Atlanta October 23rd. They'll play the home opener against the Bucks October 27th. Are you someone who circles dates on calendars when the schedules come out?
Yes, I am. I'm actually someone who logs every single nationally televised game every single season. Yeah, I've been doing that for years. I'm excited for that. And also Christmas, don't forget, they're hosting against the San Antonio Spurs, so I'm excited for that.
With Wemby.
Yeah.
Fine. We're really quick. WNBA Liberty back after the Olympic break. They beat the Sparks 103-68 in Los Angeles. Breanna Stewart, 27 points. In just a moment, we'll welcome in our radio audience as we begin Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station, JVC Broadcasting Management, or its sponsors.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com, where you'll never pay a service fee. Sports Bash is also brought to you by the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage, where every customer is considered family. Mention Sports Bash and get a free dessert with your meal. By the offices of Dr. Anthony Ippolito at Chiropractic Care Plus, located at 1 John Street in Babylon. Chiropractic Care Plus is the only choice when searching for Long Island chiropractors. Give Dr. Ippolito a call at 631-669-6221. By Bearcat Billing Service, your trusted partner in medical billing. Experience the Bearcat way, personal, professional, and tailored to your needs. Give Gary a call at 516-796-2400 and tell him Sports Bash sent you. And by the Marty Lyons Foundation, the official charity of Sports Bash Media, the third annual Bowling for Wishes event coming up next Friday, August 23rd at Levittown Lanes in Levittown. To purchase tickets, go to martylyonsfoundation.org. And by Collaborate Studios, a content marketing production facility. For more info, call them at 516-509-8277. Later on in the show, we will have Free Ticket Friday. We'll also check out the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day, and we'll have This Day in Sports History. Coming up on the show, Ian O'Connor will be our guest. He has a new book out called Out of the Darkness, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers. We're going to call him and check in with him in just a couple minutes. And, of course, coming up on Sports Bash, we'll have today's Sports Bash poll question of the day. We'll check out yesterday's and take a look at today's. We'll also have This Day in Sports History. It's also a Free Ticket Friday, and we're going to be giving away 4 tickets to see, they're VIP tickets, 4 tickets to see Saturday Night Fever under the stars at Bald Hill Amphitheater tomorrow. And boy, you get a lot with this. You get 4 VIP tickets. It's a VIP table, parking, and entrance, all kinds of amenities to see a great show at Bald Hill Amphitheater on Saturday night. Great new book is out about Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers. It is called Out of the Darkness, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers. It is written by one of the most highly acclaimed sports writers of our time. He is Ian O'Connor, and Ian joins us here on the show. Ian, it's Peter. How are you, my friend?
Hey, good morning, Peter. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming on the show, and congratulations on the new book. And the subtitle of the book, Out of the Darkness, is The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers. And not to give away too much from the book, but can you kind of sum up, after writing the book and sitting with Aaron Rodgers as long as you did and talking to all people, can you sum up what the mystery of Aaron Rodgers really is?
Well, it's interesting because he's been a chameleon of sorts over the years, Peter, and I think you know that. But he used to be considered one of the good guys in the NFL, and then COVID changed his life entirely. Now he's considered a villain. And so, but there's always been, I've always been attracted to subjects who have a distance about them. And like Derek Jeter, even though I covered him as a columnist in New York pretty regularly, he was a private guy who kept people at bay. And Belichick, of course, did the same thing. And I just thought Rodgers was a very compelling guy, and he almost enjoyed it when people couldn't figure him out. and at this point in his career, it seems to me that he is a fearless public speaker, which a lot of people are not. And even though you may not like what he has to say, there is something commendable about that he will defend his stated beliefs, however unpopular they are, with a lot of conviction. And it's rare. It's rare to see that. On the field, I actually think he used to be more fearless in the postseason. He won 4 of his first 5 postseason games, including the Super Bowl. Now, I think that there's a lot of scar tissue there with some of these bitter defeats in the playoffs in his career, and I don't see the same player that I used to see, and I think he probably needs to get back to that. But family estrangement, the conspiracy theories, just the off-field controversies, and the great play on the field, he's just a character who is very elusive. Mm-hmm. And I think I found out a lot about him that had never been published before, and talking to family members who've been estranged, but who were there and raised him and shaped him like his parents did, and many of his close friends who were initially afraid to talk to me, Peter, because they thought I had an agenda, thought I was just another media person looking to bury this guy, which I wasn't. So I had to win them over, and I think I did.
The family estrangement is something that strikes me because, listen, I think a lot of families have that issue. I'm estranged from a family member, and it's a long story, and we don't really need to get into it. But that's what kind of like connects me to the Aaron Rodgers story, is that I think it's just so fascinating. It's sad, I guess, in a way, too, that he has distanced himself from so many people in his family. In doing the research for the book, what reasons did he have to be estranged from his family, or was it the other way around?
Well, first thing, Peter, when I told people I know that I was doing this book, I would say 9 out of 10 of them, the first question was, what's the deal with his family? It's like everyone is interested in that because, like you said, unfortunately for you, I come from a big Irish Catholic family. We've had our share of it. Yeah. Everyone can kind of relate to it, although with Aaron, it's extreme. It's his 2 siblings and parents over nearly 10 years. Now, that's pretty extreme. There were, at the start of it, there was a religious component to it. He grew up in a devoutly religious home, and he rebelled against that ultimately. That's not a big part of it anymore, but it was early on. Olivia Munn had a role in it. He was dating her in 2000.
I loved her in the newsroom, by the way. She was fantastic.
Well, apparently so did Aaron. They were going pretty strong in 2014 when that estrangement started, and she had a role in it but she really notarized his thoughts that he already had, that his family was not fully appreciative of his generosity, that they perhaps were living too much off of his fame and success. And his family members that I talked to denied that and don't see it that way. But in reality, what matters is how Aaron sees it. And Olivia did confirm those thoughts, so she had a role in it. But to blame her, which his parents do, is missing the point. He hasn't dated her in 7 years.
Right.
So there are other petty things with his brothers. Obviously, when Jordan went on The Bachelorette, Aaron was angry about that, particularly the dinner table scene when they had the 2 open chairs, empty chairs, signifying Aaron not being there and Olivia not being there. Aaron told me he wasn't even invited to that filming.
Wow.
Not that he would have gone necessarily, but that really upset him, that Jordan used that to almost further his TV career. And so, but there are a lot of petty, minor things that tell me after studying it, this estrangement should have ended years ago. So I have a scene in the book where he comes together with his father last summer at Lake Tahoe at the celebrity golf tournament. They hug. They say, "I love you." It lasted 30 seconds because Aaron was in the middle of his round in the tournament, and there wasn't really any follow-up. But that expression of love, and Ed Rodgers had not seen his son in 9 years.
Wow.
Gave the family hope that was the first baby step towards reconciliation.
Well, let's hope that happens. A couple minutes to go with Ian O'Connor. He has this great book about Aaron Rodgers out called Out of the Darkness, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers. So we'll talk about football here at the end of the interview. Obviously, he is here with the Jets to accomplish one thing, and for a lot of Jet fans, it is the only thing on their minds, and that is finally winning a Super Bowl. If Aaron Rodgers is able to pull this off, whether it's this year or next year, or oh my God, I'd go crazy if it was both years. But if he is able to pull this off, can you kind of put into perspective, given his journey through all of this, the ending in Green Bay, and through all of the the public negativity about him, if he is able to pull this off and lead the Jets to a Super Bowl, where does that place him in the history of pro sports in terms of an individual accomplishment?
Oh, it would do so much for his legacy to get that second ring and to do it in New York City for a franchise that hasn't won it since January of '69. My heavens! I mean, Mark Messier he won 5 cups in Edmonton, right?
Yeah.
He ends a biblical drought in New York, and all anyone talks about is the 6th Stanley Cup. They don't talk about the other 5. I think I've been covering sports in New York for nearly 40 years. I think, and I'm trying to picture it, if Aaron wins a Super Bowl with the Jets.
Well, first of all, my wife would have to take me to the hospital because I'd have a heart attack.
Let's not have that happen. No. but anything short of that, we'll accept.
Yeah.
But I think that would be the biggest New York story that I've ever covered. I mean, we've seen some big ones, you and I, right?
Yeah.
All of us of a certain age, although I'm older than you. I think that would be bigger than anything I've covered in New York. And so I hope it happens. Jets fans deserve it. I do think the Jets are an 11-16 that will make the playoffs. I think Aaron will be mostly healthy this year and have a pretty big year. And I just can't wait to see it because if they make the playoffs and he's healthy, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, it sure will. Ian, I can't thank you enough for joining us. The book is Out of the Darkness, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers. It's from Mariner Books. Best of luck, Ian, with the book, and hope to see you out at a game of the season.
My pleasure, Peter. Thank you.
Awesome. Ian O'Connor. The book is Out of the Darkness, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers. It's a great book about a very, very fascinating subject. Well, we're just getting started here on Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Coming up, it's a Free Ticket Friday. We'll have the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day, this day in sports history. I don't know if this guy over here is going to praise the Oakland A's any more than he already has this morning. That's crazy. But we're coming back. Stay with us on Facebook and YouTube for more content while we take a radio commercial break here on Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Hi, I'm Peter Schwartz. I want to take a moment to talk about our fantastic sponsor, the Embassy Diner.
Embassy Diner has been a beloved staple in the restaurant industry for over 50 years. And the great thing about it is when you walk through the door, you're not a customer, you are family. Every visit promises to be filled with warmth, love, and respect.
And here's an extra treat. If you mention Sports Bash during your visit, you enjoy a free dessert on the Embassy Diner.
Come on down to the Embassy Diner, where great food and great company are always on the menu.
Visit the Embassy Diner, located at 4280 Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage. Peter Schwartz back with you here on Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. Again, thanks to our guest on the show, Ian O'Connor. Great book out about Aaron Rodgers called Out of the Darkness, The Mystery of Aaron Rodgers. So it's available from Mariner Publishing. It's available, I would imagine, on Amazon. It comes out on August 20th. So anywhere you get your books, Barnes & Noble, all those places, Amazon. I've read parts of it yet. I haven't read the whole thing yet. Just got it the other day. So I'm looking forward to diving into the entire book. Still plenty more to come. We've got some free tickets to give away on the other side of the commercial break. We're also going to have our Sports Bash Media poll question of the day. This day in sports history is coming up. Did you pick out a good moment for this day in sports history?
Yes, it's something that was from 20 years ago.
20. So that's actually kind of current, because sometimes you like to go a little further away, the prehistoric days. But we're coming back right after this commercial break. Welcome back to Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. I'm Peter Schwartz for the tickets with this Friday off. He'll be back with me on Monday morning. WizKid Vinny is here. We're going to have him come by in just a few moments with this day in sports history. First, it is time for Free Ticket Friday. We are giving away 4 VIP tickets to see Saturday Night Fever Under the Stars tomorrow night. That's Saturday night at Catholic Health Amphitheater at Bald Hill. And here's what you get. You get 4 VIP tickets at a VIP table, the use of a VIP entrance, the VIP parking, and VIP lounge access. A great night under the stars at Bald Hill. I haven't checked the weather whiz for tomorrow, but I think it's supposed to be a nice night. I don't think we have any rain in the forecast over the weekend, so that'll be a great night with you and 3 of your guests. Just be the third caller right now. That's 3. Third caller at 631-451-1039, 631-451-1039. We'll take the third caller, and you will win 4 tickets to see Saturday Night Fever under the stars tomorrow night at Bald Hill Amphitheater. It is now time for the Sports Bash Media poll question of the day, Wiz. We post a new poll question every weekday on the Sports Bash Media X/Twitter page. First, the result of yesterday's poll question. Outside of the 4 major sports, which of these sports do you follow the most? And our choices were soccer, golf, tennis, or lacrosse. And if you wanted to go off the board, you could have commented. Nobody commented. The winner by a landslide was golf at 60%.
Wow, I'm kind of surprised. I'm actually would probably look more into soccer compared to golf. I'm not a huge golf person.
Neither am I.
Yeah, that's why I chose soccer.
But guess what I'm doing tonight? So my kids, Bradley and Jared, and obviously before we took Bradley to school yesterday, they started picking up golf and have been going to play on this par 3 9-hole golf course.
Wow.
So now Jared still wants to play, but Bradley's away at college. So I said, call up the golf course and see if they'll let me caddy for you, because most golf, you have to pay to go play golf. I'm not paying if I'm not playing. I don't want to play. I want to hold the golf bag for Jared. And we're going to do that tonight.
Wow.
I'm going to be his caddy and watch him on this 9-hole par 3 golf course, Heartland, in Deer Park. So we're looking forward to that. So my first foray into being a golf caddy. So I'm looking forward to that. I want to drive a golf cart, but that's not going to happen. They don't have a golf cart there.
I would love to drive a golf cart too. That's the one thing I'd be interested in for the golf. Not even playing golf or even holding the bag. I just want to drive.
I like miniature golf. I like miniature golf. That I would compete in a tournament if there was such a thing. So golf wins at 60%. Soccer was number 2 at 26%. Yet tennis and lacrosse tied for 7%. Now today's question, and this centers around people who like to collect sports memorabilia. And I've always wondered what would happen if this happened to me. I know what would happen, because I would go against the grain, which at least I think the grain will be. But if you were at a Mets or a Yankees game or any major league team that you root for, and you caught a home run ball at a baseball game and it was hit by a player on the opposing team, would you throw it back? Now, this is something that started at Wrigley Field. The fans started throwing the ball back onto the field when a player on the other team hit a home run. And other teams, other fan bases started copycatting that. And my feeling is that if I caught a home run ball, first of all, if you catch any ball at a game, that's a keepsake. I would never think about throwing it back, but that's the question we are asking. If a player on the opposing team hit a home run, would you throw it back? And you have 3 choices: yes, no, or it depends on who hit it. There's no way in the world I would ever throw back a home run ball. I don't care who hit it. What about you?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't throw it back. Especially as hitting a foul ball or home run ball, that is a keepsake. And unless you're Zach Hampel, most people can't really get those things as an opportunity.
I had Zach Hampel as a guest on an old podcast that I did a few years ago. For my son Bradley loves him. He's hated by a lot of people.
People think he's like the devil.
He's like the scum of the earth. But yeah. I've interviewed him. I've actually talked to him on the phone for a half an hour. Nick, you're around baseball games a lot. I mean, I know you're not on microphone, but give me a thumbs up or thumbs down on Zach Hampel? Oh, we're getting this from Nick, our video coordinator today.
Hey, listen, he's someone that's been very committed to what he does, and he does it more than anyone else. And people see it as gross, but I don't know, maybe baseball fans. He's just lighting up a little bit. He's someone that's just having. This is. I'm
going to get him on the show. I'm going to get him on the show.
I would love Zach.
I think he'd be a great guest. I'm going to text him. We'll try and get him on the show next week or the week after. So that's the question. Would you throw the home run ball back? Yes, no, or depends who hit it. You got to go to the Sports Bash Media X or Twitter page. Now, time for this day in sports history. Wiz?
Well, involving soccer. On this day, back in 2003, the legendary international soccer/football superstar Cristiano Ronaldo made his debut for Manchester United. He did.
Man U.
Yeah, Man U. And he won the Ballon d'Or. He won the FA Cup. He won 3 straight Premier League titles with MU. and with his club, and he had 196 appearances and scored 84 goals.
Wow.
Yeah, and when there was a transfer to,
and he's still going.
Yeah, when he was transferred to Real Madrid, there was a record there for the amount of money that was involved in the transfer. Obviously, he's not with Real Madrid now. He went to Juventus, and now he's with Saudi Arabia?
Is with a team in Saudi Arabia. You're right, but now Messi has come here to play Major League Soccer.
Yeah.
So we've seen a number of international players come over at near the end of their careers. David Beckham came over and played for the LA Galaxy and won a championship with them. So we've seen these players come over at the end of their career, take the big paycheck, and come. We have not seen Ronaldo come to play in Major League Soccer, and I'm thinking even still at his older age, I think if he came to a team, like if he came to the Red Bulls, they'd probably pack Red Bull Arena every single game.
No question. Like Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the most famous athletes in the world. Him, Messi. Doesn't matter who their teammates are or who they're against, those stadiums will be packed to the brim for fans. And they might need to have to bring it over to like the football stadium.
Well, I don't think they would want to. I think they would like to try to bring in somebody like him to make sure they fill up the seats, because then they just jack up the prices of the tickets.
That's true.
And sell 25,000 tickets. And listen, for me, this goes back to the 70s and 80s when the Cosmos brought all of those great players over near the end of their careers. Pelé, Giorgio Canaglia, Franz Beckenbauer, Carlos Alberto. And all of a sudden you went from the Cosmos drawing horseflies at Hofstra and then Randall's Island to drawing 70,000 people at Giant Stadium, and it became the place to be. So I would be interested to see if Ronaldo would consider coming to Major League Soccer for the final year or two of his career whenever he decides to hang it up. I wanted to make sure that I covered this. As you know, yesterday I was not here. My wife Cheryl and my younger son Jared and myself, we took my older son Bradley up to college at Western Connecticut State University, and we dropped him off. We helped him check into his dorm, get everything set up, and then we had to bring him over to his first official football meeting. So we're looking at pictures of him in his dorm room, and then we're also looking at a picture that he took and sent us of his locker in the locker room at Western Connecticut State. So he is now officially a WestCon Wolf, and it goes without saying.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It goes without saying how proud we are of Bradley. And we know he's going to do great both. I'm going to start out by saying off the field, because you are a student athlete. You asked me the question before off the air. He is a student athlete, so I expect him to kick ass in the classroom, and I also expect him to kick ass on the football field. And we're incredibly excited. And actually, his first game, Western Connecticut, his first game is on Long Island against the Merchant Marine Academy on September 7th. So we don't have to go too far to see him play in the first game. So a very emotional day yesterday, saying goodbye, but all grown up and off to college and getting ready to play college football, which is something he dreamed of when he started playing football at 4 years old. He's also an honor roll student, which is even more important. So we know he's going to do great in the classroom at WestCon. And if I say any more about it, I'm really going to cry.
Yeah, it's okay, Peter. It's okay. It's okay.
You should have seen me yesterday when we left.
Yeah.
Glad there wasn't video rolling on that.
It's okay.
That's for sure.
Like I said, Peter.
You talk about a viral sensation of the girl that threw out the first pitch of the Met game. If you saw me after Bradley walked away with his teammates into that meeting, you would have had a real viral sensation there yesterday.
It's happy tears, Peter.
This right now is just a tip of the iceberg to what happened yesterday.
It's all good.
That will do it. I've got to wrap it up. That'll do it for this edition of Sports Bash, presented by TicketBash.com. We're sponsored by the Embassy Diner in Bethpage, Dr. Anthony Ippolito at Chiropractic Care Plus, by Bearcat Billing Service, the Marty Lyons Foundation, and Collaborate Studios. For our entire crew, I'm Peter Schwartz saying thank you for watching and listening and dealing with my nonsense.